This is Tom here with another Transformers review, and today we're going to be looking at the combined mode of the KO Oversized MMC Feral Rex. I know this is the video that most of you have been waiting for, so basically just going to go through how you combine the weapons, and then I'm going to throw this guy together. We can talk about his articulation, and then, you know, any issues that pop up. And I'll give you some final thoughts as far as the whole set is concerned. So without further ado, we're going to go into combining the gun, and then after that we'll go into combining the sword. So to combine the gun, this is the base of the gun, and it has some ports, as you can see. I mean, it's pretty straightforward as far as it's concerned. You just have to know where things go. So initially what I like to do is take these parts. These are the cannons that I believe they came with Bovis. But they have ports and they slide together, but first what we have to do is get them to go onto the back of the gun, just like this. And just like this. And then we want to take these guys, and if you look at the gun, it has like a corresponding slot right here, and then there's a slot in here, and you can slide this piece right into here. And then the same thing with this one on this side. Now, after that's done, we just want to take these guys and slide them right into here. And yet again, on this side, this is the gun that kind of looks like this. We just want to slide that also into the slot on this side. Alright. And then, with this gun, now this one you can do either way. You can put this piece here, you can use this handle, or you can plug it in with this handle. I prefer doing it like this just because I feel like it centers everything on the gun a little bit better, and then I like to fold this piece up, which that's something you can either do it this way, or you could do it like that, whatever you want, but I like to fold it up like that. And then you just pull out on the barrel, and that is the combined mode gun for Feral Rex as the, you know, the giant combiner. So now we're going to get into the sword. I'm going to have to back the camera off a little bit because this thing is huge. So here we go. So you guys are familiar with all the weapons that came with this guy from the reviews that we've done. And so this isn't actually a weapon in the mode where he's the animals, but this is the tail for Leoducks. So these guys have ports right here, corresponding ports, and then you kind of just slide it together. And now that is the handle for the sword. So there's a slot right here on the hilt, and there's a slot on these pieces of the sword, and so they kind of sit in there. And then the next thing you have to do is take the tail and slide the tail into there, and then take the other corresponding piece and slide that in just like that. We want to take these pieces and this piece, and they have a slot in here, and this will slide into there. So we just want to do just like this. Okay, but so this piece kind of tabs in right here, and then it also has a tab, a little hook in here that will hook onto there. So it hooks right here and tabs in down here, and that just kind of sits in there like that. And now we want to take one of these guys, and I don't think it makes a difference which one of these you use. They both act the same way. And then that has a tab right here, and it has a port right here, and you just want to slide that into there. And we need to take the handle and these two larger pieces, and they slide onto these pegs just like that. And then we have to get these to kind of work their way together. You kind of have to bend them a tiny bit to get it to work. They don't really like to cooperate unless you get them just right. Is take these and they slide in here. They also slide into here, and this piece will actually tab into the hilt. So once we have that, there's a tab here as well. There's a lot of tabbing going on and sliding in. That's, as like, without backing the camera up, I'll do a better job when he's in combined mode to show you the whole thing, but that's it combined, and it's longer than pretty much, well, it's almost as long as the whole team spread out. It's unbelievable. I mean, the handle extends another 2 or 3 inches past what you can see right here. This guy is massive. But so we're going to go and get into combining him into his full-size mode now. Okay, so I have it backed off a little bit so you guys can actually see how this is going to go together. And it might kind of screw with the lighting a tiny bit, but just so you guys can actually see how it's going to combine, I wanted to make sure that you were in in frame. So we're going to take this guy, Leodux, the torso, and I want to get Fortis plugged in, and then bolt this. Now there's something I do want to comment about. When it comes to Fortis, he does have an issue, and there's a fix out for it. If you don't have his ratchet for the combiner port pop back one notch, he doesn't combine very well. His head hits that, and you can actually fix that by moving something on the head. But that's there's some threads on TFW about that, so you guys can look that up if you'd like. So now I'm going to take Tigris, pop him onto the arm. Okay. And then I use Fella Saber for the other arm. There we go. And then I like to spread these wings out. Give him a little bit of a splay. Okay, and that's him in combined mode. Let's get into his articulation. So, as far as the arms are concerned, they can go up quite far, and if you get the gun out of the way, they can go up all the way like that. So, they do have the ability to rotate all the way around at the combiner port. Oh, maybe they do not have the ability to rotate the combiner port. Oh, no, they do, yes. So they can rotate all the way around, and they are a tiny bit hindered due to the wings, but it's not bad at all. You get the wings to move out of the way, and they can rotate no problem. They actually do. They have a really decent joint in there. They feel pretty darn good. This piece on the body it does tab in on Razor Claw, but Leodux, Razor Claw, whatever you want to call him. But the arms come loose a little bit when you go to rotate them. That's a little bit of a bummer. It's not the end of the world. But the joint that we talked about in his in the separate modes, this elbow joint is here, and so he does get a bend in the elbows, which is actually not bad for a combiner this size. And like I said, I think in a couple of the reviews, if you extend the legs out, he gets more of a bend. It just doesn't look as good. So also there's a swivel at the wrist, and a tiny bit of like a tilt in the wrist as well. The hands, while they're very hollow, they do open and close, and the thumb is articulated. So, and there's a set coming out apparently with better combiner hands. So that's pretty much it as far as the arms are concerned. Now the head can look up and down. He gets a pretty decent down, and he gets a pretty decent up too. And it's kind of helped by the fact that there's a joint in here that allows the head to move a little bit more. He gets a good left to right too. I mean, you would think it'd be extremely hindered with all the things around it, but it does a really good job. Oh, there's also, I mean, you guys, I know I've shown this, but there's a swivel in the elbow as well. So let's see, there's a, let's see if I can get this out of the way enough for you guys to be able to see. There is a waist swivel. It's kind of hard to show off because of that being in the way, but there's a waist swivel. And then the legs can go, see if I can get this out of the way. The legs can go all the way out to here. And it does a pretty good job holding that. I hope you guys can see. Like, he does a really good job holding that. I'm actually bouncing it quite a bit, and it's not dropping. So that's pretty good. And then the legs also will go all the way back like this. The ratchet is not as strong, though. So they do tend to fall a little bit. They can go forward out to here, that ratchet also isn't as strong. It's the same ratchet, so that makes sense. There is a swivel at the hip, just at this joint right here. There's a swivel there. And there, I think, is also a swivel at the combiner port, but you don't really have to use it. So the knees will go back, if you get this out of the way, they'll go back pretty much to a 90. Almost to a complete 90, which is really good. That's really cool. So it's just moving that little bit of kibble right there on the leg. And then they have a really decent tilt on the combiner feet. And the really cool thing, I'm not sure if the regular size Ferro Rex has it, but on the feet, if you can see, there's kind of a piece that flips up in here, and that helps stabilize him a lot, so they don't rock back too far. But if you did want them to rock back, you could just move that out of the way. So, and then the wings articulate just like they do with Talon, and any other time that he has them on. But yeah, you can do some different things with this as well, the crotch plate. I think I mentioned that in the Razor Claw Leo Dux review. But so he's really good. There's a couple things, like the ratchet here is pretty loose. It holds the arm fine, but when you get into, like, that falls right away. Now, it holds. It's just if you give it anything, it just kind of pops down. I think the paint in the head sculpt, if you guys can kind of see, the paint in the head sculpt is kind of dodgy. It's not terrible, but it looks okay. The paint on the crotch plate is actually really good. They did a really good job with that. All in all, though, he's pretty good. I think I would have liked to see a little bit better articulation on the feet, because I know they had a toe pivot on the MMC one, and that didn't get brought across. And so it's a little bit of a bummer to see that. And I don't know. I think these can tab onto their backs like they did in the MMC one, but I haven't tried it. And oh wait, when I did try it, I didn't see the ports. I don't. Maybe I was just missing it. I'm not sure. But yeah, I didn't see where those could plug in. But yeah, the combiner hands suck. They're really crappy. But they're supposed to be putting out some more combiner hands. So I mean, there's really not too many negatives with him. He's actually he's insanely sturdy. Like like I'm shaking the crap out of him, and nothing's falling off. And I mean, he stands really well. You can get him into some pretty deep poses on the carpet, but when you get him into, oh, that's a joint just popped out. But when you get him in like on like a softer surface, he really starts losing it. But like that's a pretty decent pose, and he looks good. So I mean, I really think they did a good job with this. I don't have any issues with him at all. So as far as size comparisons are concerned, I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to see him with something I think is relevant. So we have MP10 here, just to show you like the absolute size of how big he is. I have CW Devastator and then Generations Metroplex, and he is massive. He's less than an inch shorter than Devastator, which is fantastic. And while it's they're not both a masterpiece quality, I think as far as height and scale goes, that's the closest that we have to that right now. The Toy World Devastator that's coming out is probably going to be a little bit better for masterpiece scale, because even he could be a little bit better to CW Devastator could be a little bit better as far as height wise, but that's just fantastic. I mean, it's great. This is where that being a shelf piece and that being a shelf piece, aside from their downfalls, makes them what I'm going to use in my masterpiece display. So for final thoughts on this guy, I think overall this is a must for anyone who wants like as close to a masterpiece scale Ferro Rex as you can get. This is just unbelievable. I just showed you guys the size comparisons, and he is perfect as far as the size goes. The quality is as close as you can get from a KO as anyone could ever hope. The overall feel of this figure, the plastic quality, everything like that, is beyond what I would have ever expected for $150. If you're going to order it, which I do suggest doing, I don't know how long they're going to produce this for. This might not be something they do forever. I would go with Sir Toys. I don't have any endorsements with them, and I've read a couple people saying not to endorse a company if they don't, give you money. But I don't care about that. He's a great guy, and he's been nothing but helpful to me. So I like to throw him a bone. And even if the small amount of people that see this see it and go and order from him, I'm happy to help him out. He's a really nice person. He also does a really good job. He cares about a lot about what he does, and he ships and packages everything really well. This guy's $150-ish, packaged, shipped to your door. You can't get a larger, better combiner for that price. I mean, CW Devastator was that price, and this guy blows that out of the water. Absolutely blows CW Devastator quality out of the water. This plastic is unbelievable, and he is nowhere near as thin as what CW Devastator is. So I hope you guys like the videos. I'm sorry for doing them in different videos and whatnot. This set is so close to the quality that I hoped it would be that I wanted to do them separately. I wanted to give each of the characters and each of the figures their time under the camera, and then do one final one in combined mode so you guys could see just how awesome he actually is. Yeah, so I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching. I'm definitely going to have more reviews coming out. I love doing this. This is just, it's a great time, and especially to be a collector. This is like the best time to be a collector right now. So thank you for watching.